What is going on, guys? It's the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video. And so today I'm going to be talking about another misconception, and I was almost certain that this was true, but there were people that did not know this, but I had a feeling this was true, and it was actually confirmed by Jarrett himself in a recent interview. Because some people are still like I'm seeing people comment about this, and there are a couple other people we know that I talked to and stuff like that. But there was stuff that was brought up about the ownership of Walker Texas Ranger. Chuck Norris co-owns the Walker franchise, and still does to this day. Some people thought that he doesn't own it anymore, or he doesn't have a stake in it or anymore, anything like that. That's not true. He still co-owns the show. He co-owns the franchise. So he does have a stake in this new show, even though he's not involved in it. And so Jarrett, in a recent interview, actually confirmed this, but he also confirmed that Chuck Norris gave his blessing for it. Now, unless I hear that from Chuck Norris, I'm gonna stay caution on that. But here's the thing, and some people have pointed this out to me. Here's the thing. Of course, Chuck Norris would be okay with it, because if he co-owns the show, he's getting a royalty check for literally doing nothing. Okay, he's literally getting paid for the show. He is getting paid for Jarrett's new show. He's getting some type of royalties for it. I don't know how much he's getting, but he's getting something for it to literally do nothing. He's literally not doing anything, and he's getting money off of it. Okay, so obviously he's going to be okay with it because he's getting money for it. I mean, he co-owns it. I think obviously the other owners that are involved in the franchise, obviously, were okay with it, but obviously they had to get it from the approval from Chuck Norris, because he's Chuck Norris, as Jarrett even worded in his own words. He don't want to mess with Chuck Norris, because you don't want to mess with Chuck Norris. Everyone knows that. But in all seriousness, business sense, Chuck Norris is getting paid for this rebooted Walker series with literally not doing anything. Because he's not going to make a cameo in this show. He's not going to be involved in the show, obviously. I mean, that's blatantly obvious. He's not going to be involved in anything. He's going to get a check. Easy money, obviously, for him to not even have to do anything, because, he's Chuck Norris. He doesn't, I'm sure someone now is going to, bring up another fact feed for Chuck Norris on this fact, because this is a fact. He's literally not have to do anything for the show to be made. So here's the thing, and I keep trying to explain this to people. Okay, he's not going to have to do anything, so he's going to get a free paycheck for this, free royalties for this. But this leads me into my next thing, which I have stated multiple times, and I have brought this up, and many other people even commented to me and pointed this out, and I've seen other comments in other videos on this from other channels. And this is the thing that I keep trying to bring up. If this show literally is trying to get a different demographic, the teen demographic, right? That's what they're trying to go, young adult teen demographic, right? If that's what you're trying to go for, why are you even touching this franchise? Because Walker Texas Ranger is not that type of demographic, first and foremost. If that's what you're trying to go, the teenage girls, the teenage males, if that's the demographic you're going after, why are you even touching this? Because that's not what Walker Texas Ranger is. Okay, that's not what that franchise demographic is for. And if you're literally going for something like that, Why do you even have to call it Walker? Literally every character in this rebooted series has a different name that has nothing to do with the characters from the original Walker Texas Ranger franchise, except for Cordell Walker, the main character. That is literally the only character in this show that has a completely different name, or that has the same name from the original TV series. That makes no sense. And this is why I said in my last video why the new Walker series is leeching off of the original Walker Texas Ranger series. Because if they weren't leeching off of it, they wouldn't be calling Jarrett's character Walker. They would be calling him something else. And they would be calling the show something else. They'd be calling it Law and Order Texas Ranger or something like that. Different name, different concept. Texas Ranger is a real thing. Like, there are real Texas Rangers, guys. Okay? So, they could literally come up with a different concept with Texas Ranger, because that's basically what they're doing. They are not doing what Walker Texas Ranger was. A kick-ass action law enforcement type show. That's not what that show is. This is a drama type show. It has nothing to do with the original series, other than the fact that it's Texas Rangers and it's Cordell Walker as the main character. That's literally the only thing. And literally, Jarrett even said in that interview, that our Cordell Walker is not the same as Chuck Norris's Cordell Walker. Okay, so why do you have to do the series being called Walker? That's why. Why can't it be called Billy or frickin', I don't know, come up with a Texas name. Something like that, to an effect. Why can't he come up with a different name and just start fresh? That right there, guys, is leeching. They are leeching off of a name that is very popular, okay, and they are using it to boost their show, okay, to get the old people that are interested in the show, millennials and stuff like that, to watch the show, okay, but yet that's not their demographic. That's not even the demographic they want. Yet they're trying to get the old fans from the past to watch the show, even though that's not their demographic, and they're trying to bring them in. This doesn't make any sense. Literally, the business model of this show makes no sense. Like, the whole promotion, the whole everything just doesn't make sense. And I've tried to explain this. Jarrett is a good actor. I'm not saying he ain't. I never once in any of these videos I've made said he was a bad actor. I actually liked some of the stuff he did in Supernatural. I watched it from time to time. I wasn't an obsessed Supernatural fan, but I did watch episodes here and there. But my point being is this whole thing of Supernatural, carrying over to this new Walker series, Jarrett carrying this over, it just doesn't make sense. He literally come up with a completely different new name and a completely new name to the TV series, and it would have been completely fine. It would have been a better approach than leeching off of an existing franchise with the main character's name that has literally nothing to do with what they are doing in this new series. This has nothing to do with the current series, okay? Or this has nothing to do with the old series. The current series has nothing to do with the old series, okay? And that's what makes no sense about this whole thing. And I've been saying it for a long time now. In all these videos I've made on this, it makes no sense. Obviously, Chuck Norris was not involved in it, but he allowed it to happen, unfortunately. But he's making money off of it. Obviously he's getting a royalty check for it, because he's co-owner of the Walker franchise. So he's getting a royalty check. So I guess there's some benefit there. Well, at least for Chuck Norris, because Chuck Norris is Chuck Norris. Don't mess with facts of Chuck Norris. Anyways, but in terms of the series, in terms of the appeal for fans, this is not going to work, okay? And I've seen multiple comments, multiple tweets about people already talking about they're not going to watch it again because it's not the same. And that's the thing. It's not the same. It's not the same series. And that's where I take this at. You know? I know a lot of people like Jarrett. I think Jarrett's a good actor. You know? I've been arguing on Twitter with Richard Kenobi, a good buddy of mine that's been on this very channel with me. I know he likes Jarrett. That's fine. But the show concept of Walker, Texas Ranger is Chuck Norris. It's not Jarrett. Literally, he could have made a new show with changing the name of Cordell Walker to something else and then just do Texas Rangers that way. Could have done that. That's, I think, the better way of doing it because you're actually going for that demographic audience and not trying to leech off of the old school fans that literally are looking at this and being like, this isn't Walker, Texas Ranger. Like, who's this guy? Like, that's literally what this is. But yeah, I wanted to mainly get into that interview and talk about it because a lot of people were under the impression that Chuck doesn't still own the series, the TV series. That's not true. He co-owns it. He still co-owns it to this day. And it's pretty obvious because, if I'm not mistaken, it was Chuck Norris who actually was the guy who came up with the idea because this was based off of the original movie that he had done, Long Wolf McQuade, which was a different character, but it was a Texas Ranger. And then he decided to spin that off into a new character, which ended up turning into Cordell Walker in the television series. So I was almost certain that he still co-owned it because he was the guy who pitched the show to begin with, when it originally came out. So, yeah, he definitely still has a stake in the franchise because it was his thing. It was his IP to begin with. So I don't know where people have gotten this idea that he doesn't partially still own the show. And if you guys are still in denial, then you obviously don't like Jarrett because Jarrett in a recent interview actually admitted this. He admitted to this in an interview. He publicly said that Chuck Norris still actually has a stake and still owns the show and still co-owns the show. So there you go. And I will link that interview in the description. He publicly says it. So all you Jarrett fans out there that are going to come at me about this, Jarrett actually says it. So you can't not say that I'm lying because he actually says it. All right, that Chuck Norris still owns the show, still co-owns the show. And I knew this because some people were saying that he didn't anymore and that he doesn't own the character. And he does. He co-owns the show. Therefore, by default, he co-owns the character. So, yeah, there you go. So, the new show, Chuck Norris is not going to be involved. He's not going to ever make a cameo in this, okay? That's never happening. This is not his vision of the character at all. But he is getting a paycheck for this show, even though he's not involved at all. So that's probably the only positive thing of this show is that Chuck Norris is profiting off of it in some way. But yeah, guys, so that's about it. I'm out. Comment, rate, flex for my videos. Please subscribe. That's about it. I am the SS Ultimate Goku. Out of here. Peace.